Hey friends, Leigh Brown here, and welcome back to My Kitchen, My Rules, where I have a giant announcement to make to y'all that I'm super excited and proud of. I am now officially sponsored by Dixie Crystal Sugar. So you're going to see me put the official disclaimer in there. I'm their girl, and maybe one day they'll put my picture on the container of sugar, but you know, it depends on how Noel fixes my hair, because you know he's got to make me look expensive. So I'm gonna try to have their logo around here somewhere. But I'm so tickled. And if you're wondering what that's got to do with today's recipe, well, first of all, your hint as to what we're having today is that I'm gonna be drinking a Topo Chico, which is not your adult beverage today. This is the best sparkling water ever. I first found it when I was in Texas. Somebody gave me one, and I did not know how good this stuff is. I mean, it's mineral water, not sparkling water, but holy smokes. And this is the lime one because they had it at the Publix. And so, since we have kind of a south of the border, we're gonna be making chili today. Now, I know that for some of y'all, you're thinking, there's no way some southern woman needs to be making chili. Well, look, Texas people love chili, and I'm not from Texas, but I did live there for a while. So I know that all of y'all have your personal preferences, and this is probably gonna be as divisive as anything political for me to try and make chili, and y'all are gonna think it's wrong. But you know what? Get you a cocktail and a beverage and just sit back, and I guess you just wanna sit back and judge. That's what y'all do on social media anyway, frankly. I don't know what y'all are on there for except to sit around and judge, and it's kind of unhealthy. I did get tickled, I think. And by the way, I'm dicing up one medium onion. And if you're wondering why I told y'all about Dixie Crystals, y'all, there's a little bit of sugar in my chili recipe, so just go ahead and prepare yourselves for that. But I will actually warn you too that I'm gonna be making cornbread to go with it, and you can't touch my cornbread, I'll just tell you that, because it goes in a cast iron skillet. And if some of y'all are the kind of people who don't own a cast iron skillet, I don't know why you're watching a cooking show, for one, and for two, you should know that you can't fix cornbread in pretty much anything but a cast iron skillet, and I don't know why. That's just how it belongs, it's how it goes. But my cornbread does not have sugar in it, even though I am married to a Yankee. And I know that there's something about northern people who think sugar belongs in cornbread. It does not. And so I'm gonna show y'all that Dixie Crystals actually is gonna have a place in my chili, but not in my cornbread. And just go ahead and get your mind around that for a minute while I chop up my onion here. Because I was told by a friend who likes watching this video program series that she says it's fun to watch me prep the onion and things. And I said, I don't know why you think that's fun, but okay. And I love you anyway. See, that's how we get back together as Americans. You say, I don't get it either, but okay, that's how we are. And then we're not unfriending each other over how we decide to watch somebody else's videos. See, that's step one, friends, step one. So anyway, I don't remember what I was telling y'all about, but if you're wondering why I still look decent, I'm fixing this after church so I can put it on to sit for a while, because your chili does not get eaten right away. If it's going to be any good, the flavors do have to marry up. Now you could use your crock pot if you want to. I am not going to use my crock pot. I'm going to have it in my stock pot simmering on the stove top. So there's two different ways to do it. So we've got our skillet over here on a medium high heat. And we are going to saute our onions, put a little bit of minced garlic in there too. And I didn't buy any garlic at the grocery store because it looked kind of sketch today. So I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in. Where's my rag at? My hand's got onion all over it. If y'all don't know how to do an onion correctly, you're gonna have to watch one of my previous episodes where I showed you how to not cry like a fool while you're cutting the onion. See, notice I am not crying. I'm not ruining the fact that I did actually put makeup on to go to church this morning. But I did drop some onion in the floor. We can't leave that down there. But I'm not going to cook that part. That's beyond the 5-second rule, frankly. So let's get our oil heated up here. And I'm going to show you what all you're going to need for your recipe today. So you need 1 onion. You're going to need 2 pounds of ground beef. See, and I had a pound from the bulk pack that I bought this week. And I had another pound I had to get to supplement it because there's 2 pounds in my recipe. And yes, I do buy things in bulk because it's cheaper that way. Y'all know I'm cheap. And chili's one of actually the cheapest things you can fix. You're going to have leftovers. It's good when the weather's turning. It doesn't take long to put it together, but it takes a long time for it to cook. So y'all have to start learning how to plan a little bit. And that's not bad for you, friends. Some of y'all need work on planning anyway, as evidenced by some of the things that you are doing and saying. But anyway, let's get that olive oil going. All right, let's toss in our onion. And y'all know the skinny on onion, you need it to saute until it has pretty much gone clear. And I did a rough chop. You don't have to do any kind of a fine dice unless you're one of those people. And that's fine if you are. I'm not going to judge. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it today because it'll cook down pretty good over the next few hours. Mine cooks on the stovetop for maybe 5 to 6 hours. So if I'm fixing this after church, you'll be ready by supper, okay? So after you've got your 2 pounds of meat, I'm gonna put that in here with my onion. You're gonna need beans. Now this is why chili is everybody's favorite. You're gonna have some kidney beans. I've got dark red and light red. And I need a wider lens camera, I guess, because you have to drain them and rinse them. I don't really know what they're in, that they have to be drained and rinsed. Frankly, I probably should have asked at some point in life, but you know, maybe I'd better not know. Some things you're better off not knowing in life. Y'all understand that. And of course, these are the Lowe's Foods brand because they were cheap. I don't know where they came from, frankly, because they're just say distributed by. And I drained mine in the can. Y'all can't see it because I'm off camera. I guess I'm gonna have to get a crew at some point consisting of a child who needs to earn a few dollars. And they get all bubbly when you sit in here. Oh look, the husband's gonna come over here. Thank you, Steve Brown. So we're rinsing and draining our beans while the onion is getting over there going. You need 1 can of red, 1 can of, well, dark red and 1 of light red. I reckon you can use them white ones if you want to, those cannellini beans. And by the way, when you have your friends and family over, the kindest and most gracious thing to do would be to have yourself a container of Beano and have them take some Beano before they eat your chili. And then y'all can sit around after supper and not have to run for the hills. Okay, so we've rinsed our beans, got our onion going over here. And while that's getting going, here's what else you're gonna need. You're gonna need some beef broth. If you're wondering why everything is Lowe's Foods brand, it's because that's probably enough for church. And I did not buy the Rotel. I bought the Lowe's version of the Rotel, which is your diced tomatoes with the green chilies. And we've got 2 cans of that, so that's 14-ounce cans. Then you need some tomato sauce. I never heard of That's Smart brand before, but they were 3 for $1. So I said, well, let me try it. Didn't have any secret sugar snuck up in the label. So I got 3 8-ounce cans of That's Smart tomato sauce. If y'all know anything about this, tell me, because legit, I've never seen it before. But it's distributed by somebody in Illinois, which I find to be entertaining. So that's what you're gonna need for your saucy part of your chili. Got your beans, got your meat here in a second. Of course, we're gonna put some Worcestershire sauce on it when we put the meat in the pan. And all of your different spices, you're gonna need paprika, you're gonna need cumin, you're gonna need some ancho chili powder, you're gonna need, y'all ready? And this don't sound weird, but it's for real. You need some cocoa powder. And I don't mean the Swiss Miss with all the sugar in it. I mean like, you know, actual cocoa powder. If you ever ate mole stuff at a Mexican restaurant or Spanish restaurant, that's the secret, friends. And so you're gonna have to find yourself some. If I'd have had any coriander, I'd have put some of that in it too, but apparently I'm out and did not remember to buy some at the grocery store, so we're gonna do without coriander today, but that's fine, I can do without that. I can't do without chili powder and cocoa, and you're gonna need some salt and some pepper. And that's obviously, oh, I forgot the paprika too. Oh, and my Texas peat dust. Look, I had it in the wrong pile. I love the Texas peat dust. I'm tossing some of that. And you know, they're from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And then, of course, the last of your spice mix is going to be some Dixie Crystals granulated sugar. And I know some of y'all don't have it in your part of the country, in which case my heart is sad for you. But you can buy it on the Amazon, I heard. And if you're anywhere in the region where Dixie Crystals is in your grocery store, give me a shout in the comments, because I have coupons. You can get you a free bag, and then you'll find out exactly why I love it so much that I've been talking about them all this time, and they love me back now. Woo! Okay, so anyway, I'll be back here in 2 shakes as our meat's browning, and I'll show you what you do next. Okay, so all y'all really missed in this little interim part was that I finished browning my ground beef. And then I drained off the fat. And then just so you know, some people like to leave a little bit of the grease in there for their chili. I do not, because I think that's weird, but some people do. And then what do you do with the grease? Look, you keep it in a can up under your sink. I keep it in my crushed tomato can. And then you could use it for other recipes instead of olive oil in your next batch of chili, frankly. Or bacon. Keep bacon grease under the sink. Or on your stovetop, depends on how you want to. And now I'm going to transfer my meat and onion mixture here in a very messy way, apparently, into my stock pot. I probably should have done this in a different place where I could see what I was doing. Lord, I'm making a mess today. That's all right. That's what we clean kitchens for, so we can make a mess out of them. How much meat did I just dump out of my pan there? Oh, a bunch. Ah! Okay, so anyway, get all that meat. That's the upper body workout, I guess. Stupid hood is in the wrong spot. I didn't design that right on this house. Look, even realtors don't design their houses perfectly. We should have done that differently, but oh well. Okay, so now we're going to have the stock pot on a nice low heat. So I'm going to have mine on a number 2 for a few little bits while I get everything in it and get it started. And yes, because my countertops were clean, I'm absolutely going to scooch up that meat and onion mixture and put it right in the pot. So if your kitchen is clean, that's one of the advantages, friends, of keeping your house clean. You can 5-second roll the overage back into the pot. Go ahead and laugh at me all you want. I know some of y'all are feeling me on that. You are just as cheap as I am and don't want to waste a bit of that yummy meat and onion mixture there. I ain't them. So here we go. We rescued most of it. Definitely get it up off your burner before it cooks on there. That'd be nasty. And your kitchen's gonna smell for days. And Febreze don't help with that. I don't know why they get away with their false advertising of Febreze, because it does not get rid of all these odors in your house. Okay, so anyway, now that I've made a giant mess of that, okay, we got our meat in the pot. Pot's on number 2. Got my wooden spoon at the ready. Now we're going to add in our 2 cans of tomatoes with green chilies, aka Rotel, or the off brand of your choice, which for me is the Lowe's Foods off brand. 2 of those cans. Next thing we're going to add in is our beef broth. Oh, my eye got itchy. You need about 2 tablespoons-ish of beef broth. Okay, so that means 1, 2, that's probably 4. So it depends on how soupy you like your chili. If you like yours soupy, where you can suck up a bunch of crackers and stuff, then you put in more beef broth. You can put in a whole can if you want to. I won't judge. I only use a little bit to make it slightly soupier, so I can put a little bit of my cornbread in the edge and sop it up. But that's up to you. And frankly, when it's finishing up, if I feel like it needs some more, I'm going to add it in. And so that's about how much we put in there. Now we're going to add in tomato sauce. Remember, we got 3 8-ounce cans here. Whoops, don't leave the lid in there. That would be bad. And we will recycle all of these, friends. Those of y'all that get all worried about the things I'm doing in the kitchen. And a lot of times they just get recycled around the house. You know, my son likes to use empty cans as rifle targets. And so we have a box in the garage of different cans that can make a wonderful target at the edge of the property for rifle practice, which I'm sure he'll get busier after that as the fall continues on and it's cooler outside. All right, now we're going to get some chili powder. Now, how much chili powder you put in is how spicy you like it to be. So for me, I'm going to use, let's see what my little trusty old recipe here says, 2 tablespoons. I might not use that much today because my mama's going to eat some, and I don't want her to not be able to eat it. So I think today I'll do 2 teaspoons, or maybe 3, and then it won't be quite so hot, but it'll have the good flavor to it. Then we're going to add in my Texas peat dust, which is my other spice, and I think I'll do 1 teaspoon of this for today. But again, if you're having your friends over and y'all want to really tear it up, you can get really spicy. I mean, just do whatever you want to do. We need our paprika. Well, I'm about at the end of my paprika. I might just use the rest of that up. That's like, I don't know what, tablespoon and a half or so. We didn't put that on the grocery list. There we go. And then we need some cumin, and probably need, let's see, I got plenty of this one. We'll do 2 teaspoons of this. Balance out that flavor profile a little bit. Okay. And then we need our cocoa powder for that good mole there. Now mine comes from, this is what, Penzeys Spices, which, let's see, this is, well, this one's getting kind of old actually. This container is 4 years old, but it still smells good. I'll still use it. You know your spices age. I don't even buy Penzeys anymore since they got all political in their pamphlets that came back with my spices the last time. I don't know why every brand thinks they got to be political about everything all the time. Let's see, I needed 2 teaspoons. I just put in 3 because I can, because I like that mole flavor. And let's see, then we need some freshly ground pepper, which we've got the Costco brand here. You know, it's very fancy. And I'm just gonna turn it for a minute until I feel like I have enough pepper going. Because you know you can add it back in later. Pepper and salt are the easy ones to add in. And then I'm gonna do about a teaspoon's worth of kosher salt. So about yay much. There's your teaspoon's worth of kosher salt. And you don't need a whole heck ton of salt when you're using everything else. Let's stir that in. That good spice blend. So friends, this is why you don't have to buy those little McCormick packages. I mean, I love McCormick. Y'all know I buy their stuff all the time, but those pre-mixed flavored packets at the grocery store, they're high for what they cost. And there's also a bunch of preservatives in there. So just get your own spices. They don't really go bad over time if you try to use them. And we're now going to put in, I forgot my sugar. You need a teaspoon of Dixie Crystal sugar. So that my pretty one over there for y'all to look at. But I got my big giant canister because y'all know how much I love to cook with it. See, and I fuss about sugar sometimes in my cooking, but I don't mind it if I control it. I just don't like to have it snuck up on me. All right, we're gonna put the lid on it. We're gonna let it sit for about, I don't know, 3 hours minimum, and then we'll add the beans in. And you'll be having some supper here shortly. If I can find, I don't know what I did with my remote. Lord, I'm just a mess today. All right, so we'll see y'all back here shortly with step 3. So in the 5 hours since our chili's been on the stove, you can see I have been to Run Club and I have now changed clothes. I added my 2 cans of kidney beans and forgot to make a video, but I figure y'all can dump a can of beans in your chili just like anybody else can. Give it 1 stir to make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. And then if you want to add some more beef broth, if you want it to be thinner and more soupy, go ahead and add it in now. I like mine at a medium thickness, so it's good right now. And the next thing we're gonna make is cornbread, so that you'll have this all ready to roll here very shortly. So I'm, like I said, hitting up hour 5. I think it's best at hour 6. You can also cook this in a slow cooker if you're a crock pot kind of person. I happen to like it on the stove, even though I do enjoy my crock pot because I like that pan, and you know you have preferences for your cookware. That's just how we roll. So I'll see you here in a minute with the finished product. See, finished product? Check this out. Oh yeah. You can practically smell it from where you are. Now serve it with some sour cream and some cheddar cheese and some hot cornbread, which will be ready here in 22 seconds. And you've got an amazing supper that's actually really healthy and cheap for days. And you can freeze it, by the way, and then you can carry it to the office and thaw it out and have it for lunch. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time on My Kitchen, My Rules.